All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And as you can see in the title, this is what happens when there's chaos. And this lesson is based on an article that I was reading earlier today from ZeroHedge.com, and it's entitled Graped and Pillaged. Maui fire survivors describe nighttime looting, botched supply drops. Okay, which is why I entitled this is what happens when there's chaos, because when you look throughout history, all right, and you look throughout situations like whenever there have been disasters, whether it's war or civil unrest or natural disasters, even like Hurricane Katrina, there's always these common things that people resort to doing. Okay, and that's due to the natural order of things. All right, so one being looting. Okay, basically examples of like crime, right? So looting, graping, murder, and raiding. Okay, these all are common like things that take place when there's chaos. And just like you saw over here, as if the fire wasn't enough, bad enough for them to worry about, but it created now an environment for this, because people get desperate and instinctively they start to, end up in this sort of mindset. This is why we tell you, or when we tell you that you're living in a false sense of reality, because nothing has happened yet. So wherever you may be staying, especially in Babylon, it's an artificial, false sense of security where you don't really know what the real world is like, because everything here, there's always cameras everywhere. There's always 911 you can call, or people are around, or all of these things. So it creates this false sense of security. But when all hell breaks loose, you're gonna see what what are the real world events that actually take place when shit goes back to archaic times. All right. So let's read a little bit of this. It says here, the tragic disaster that we just witnessed in Hawaii should break all of our hearts. The death count just keeps going up, and it is being reported that these were the deadliest fires in the United States in more than 100 years. And definitely, we'll keep brothers that are in that region in prayer. That the Lord protect them and their families, and make sure that they're good. Um, so as it says here, in addition, Hawaii Governor Josh Green is telling us that this was actually the largest natural disaster that his state has ever experienced. More than 2,700 structures have been burned down in Lahaina, if I'm pronouncing that right, Lahaina alone. Let's find out if I'm pronouncing it right. Lahaina. Okay, Lahaina. Got it. Um, so have been burned down in Lahaina alone, and it is being estimated that the value of the property that has been destroyed is over $5 billion. And this is something that I always point out, which is that this is like, look at the mindset, the condition that people are in, especially those that I guess were there experiencing this, right? Now, whether this is organic or it had some man-made interference in there, the point is there are people that are feeling this distress, fear, and they're going through it, right? And that's over a fire or a natural disaster. That's one event. Okay, and look at the damage that it has caused. So if one event, which is a so-called natural disaster, can do this much damage, what do you think the time of Jacob's trouble is going to be like, when it's going to be not just a one fire here, and then you have other parts that are okay and they can send aid and X, Y, and Z? No, it's going to be everywhere. Everywhere is going to be getting hit, when it's not just going to be exclusive to natural disasters or just fires or just earthquakes and so on and so forth. So that's why the scriptures say it'll be a time like never before, because if just one event can do this much damage, how much more for a continuous series or a conveyor belt of hell, put it like that. Okay, as the apostle said. So it says, but there are some stories that are not making the evening news. As Insider.com reports, Maui residents are becoming increasingly desperate for local leadership to take control of the emergency response to the catastrophic fires that leveled parts of the Hawaiian island and left at least 93 dead. And this, when you look at the scenes, right, of the fires, yeah, it looks apocalyptic. But that is but a grain of sand compared to how apocalyptic the fires are going to look when the whole of the US is burning. Because according to prophecy, that's what's going to happen. That's the lake of fire. So imagine what a sight that would be to see that. And now you want, and when you see these visuals, it gives you a clear understanding as to why it talks about the smoke of her burning going up for a long time. Because that smoke, it burns, man. It goes and 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 it goes. So it says, while rescue crews made their way across the island with water, food, and first aid, locals told Insider supply drops were being rerouted and anguished residents were taking matters into their own hands, right? So let's go real quick and see. Let's get this real quick, see what that sounds like. Anguished residents were taking matters into their own hands. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and right around the where are we? Yeah, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. It says, for the sword, or really 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and keep this in mind, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, meaning they're going to take matters into their own hands. And what are they going to do? They're going to invade one another. So that means they're going to be raiding houses and going through door to door, taking what they can find, right? And why did Ezra see this? Because this is what happens when there's chaos. But what he saw was a very great deal of it, to where this was like everywhere. This was what was happening for a period of time. That's like the new way of living. So now let's come back to this article. So it says here, where are we? Right, there's some police presence. There's some small military presence, but at night people are being robbed at gunpoint. Right? Let's go back to 2nd Ezra. Oh, actually, I forgot to even switch the tab. But in 2nd Ezra, when we go down, let's see. It mentioned that they're gonna have swords in their hands, right? When we read up above, which are modern day weapons. Okay, so when they go in there, matter of fact, let's jump down to verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So why is it that these inhabitants here are on this island are behaving this way? Because of the lack of bread, which is food, and for great tribulation, because there's chaos. Okay, so it's saying here that at night people are being robbed at gunpoint. Matt Robb, a co-owner of the Lahaina bar called the Dirty Monkey, told Insider, people are being raped and pillaged. I mean, they're going through houses, and then by day it's honky-dory. So where is the support? I don't think our government and our leaders at this point know how to handle this or what to do. You hear that? People are being raped and pillaged because this is what happens when there's chaos. People are not cordial. They're not nice. Why? What reason do they have to be? Because when things get bad, people become more primitive. Like, why should somebody come up to you and he sees that you have something that he needs and he's coming to ask you, and then I mean, if he has the little bit of patience, he might ask you. All right. But in his mind, if think about it like this, if he needs what you have, or you have what he needs, and he has the power to take it from you, and there's nobody there to stop him or prevent that from happening, what is going to stop him from just coming up and taking what he needs from you? That is how people think when things go, chaotic, because it's chaos, right? So that's why they're saying the survival of the fittest, because if he has the power, he's stronger and faster and whatever, or he has a weapon, he has the advantage over you. And ultimately, it goes back to what? Violence. So if he has that power over you, what are you going to do? If you have groceries or whatnot and it's rare and he needs that, or medication, or they break into your house and they find that you have all of these things, what's going to happen? Are they going to, oh, you think I could, let me cash app you maybe $10 and then you could give me a couple of those supplies? Why would they do that? You know why they do that now? Because they're police and law enforcement and laws. But when all that goes out the window, what is going to stop somebody from saying, "Oh, you have some supplies that I need. I have a gun and you don't. Give me your supplies, or I'm going to shoot you." So what's going to stop them from doing that? And if you resist, what's going to stop them from actually shooting you? They're not going to go to jail. There's not going to, in their minds, there's not going to be any consequences. So why shouldn't they? Or if they see a chick that they like, why should they come and try and entice you and spit game, and what are they going to take you out to the burnt down AMC across the street? No, they're just going to take it, right? This is why this happens when there's chaos, and this was over wildfires, and this is what's happening at night. So when shit hits the fan on a wide scale, you can expect to see this behavior and much worse. And this is why we warn you, and we keep warning you, and we keep warning you that this is coming. And there's going to be cannibalism, and there's going to be sights that you haven't seen before. As if the disasters that are happening are not bad enough, you're going to need to deal with how people react to that. So a lot of people are not prepared, man. You are not prepared in the slightest. It says here the Honolulu Star Advertiser reported a riot nearly broke out between police and about 100 residents after officers closed off access to a highway leading to Lahaina, one of the hardest hit areas on the island, preventing people from returning home to gather items that could be salvaged. Now, real quick, since I read this part, I want to get a few precepts on it, because it's also prophecy that when all hell breaks loose, okay, that this is what's going to take place. Now, this is the book of Zechariah 14:2. It says, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled." Okay, let's look into that word rifled. What we got on here? All right, so it says here, rifled, shasas, to plunder, to spoil, right? And that's exactly what we just heard that they were doing over here. They're pillaging. Okay, pillaging the village. Because this is what happens when there's chaos. So now let's go back, and also what we can do is I'll read this in the King James, and then we'll read it again in the NIV or NLT. And it says here, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled," meaning that they're going to break into your houses and take your goods, and what? "And the women ravished." Another word, the modern term for ravished is graped. Okay? If you look into the definition of the word ravished, it says here to violate, to be ravished, to be ravished. It says lie with, okay, ravish. So it's not in the sense that they're gonna come and I wanna make love. They're not gonna try to come and make love to you. All right, these are the words right here: to violate, ravish, okay, to be laid with, to lie with, to copulate with. Do you hear that? So when you're as the scriptures say, when a man's seat of copulation leaves him, that's basically when you release them kids. Okay, so pretty much that's what's going to be happening. That's what it means when it says they're going to be ravished. Slakia, let me share this again. Is the sound good? Let me know if you can't hear. Somebody's asking if there's sound. Yeah, so just let me know if the sound is all right. Let's see. Is okay. Con. All right. Cool. The water. So let's keep on going. I'm streaming on 2 channels. That's why the comment came up twice. The main channel that I'm currently using now is the Bakwar Moth 12. So the main page got a strike for 2 weeks. So that's where I am for now. But the water. So let's keep on going. It says here, and the women ravished, so they're going to be taken by force, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city, which really means that they're going to be left. They're going to be left in the ruins of the city. Okay, so now, like I said, let's look at this in some of these other translations. So the NLT says, "I will gather all the nations to fight against Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, and the women raped." So now, why is this a recurring thing that happens over and over and over and over and over again? Because this is what happens when there's chaos. Okay, theft, murder, rape, cannibalism, depending on how bad it gets. And those things are not happening here now. First off, this concept is not new when you go to some third world countries, and that's why the demeanor of the women and the people there are different than it is here, because here people think they're living in la la land. Okay, they're living in delusions. So when reality hits, it's going to be a new shock for a lot of people, and it happens quick, just like that. Just like that, them people in Maui had to be jumping into the waters, the ocean to survive, right? And now that the fire is gone, they got to deal with all this. And as we keep reading, you'll hear some more. Okay, so now let's get this other precept. I also had another one, and you notice once again, it's not just once that it's said. Multiple. This was seen in multiple visions, mentioned by multiple prophets. This is the book of Isaiah 13, which also goes into the time of Sheher and the fan. 13 and 15, it says, "Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined onto them shall fall by the sword," which it could be an actual sword, but in a modern day version of the sword is typically a gun, or it could be a knife, or it could be a bat, or a pocket knife, or a hammer. Verse 16, it says, "Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes." So you're gonna have people seeing their kids killed, put to death. "Their houses shall be spoiled," which echoes what we read in Zechariah 14, rifled. So they're gonna be breaking into your houses just like they're doing over there that we read in the article. It says, "And their wives ravished." There you go again. See, so in Zechariah 14, it words it as the women, because when that time happened, the people are not going to discriminate or differentiate or care whether it's you're a married woman or you're not. So, and as a matter of fact, being a woman alone is going to put a target on your back, just like that. So all these men that want to be women so bad, when them prison dudes come out, them other, not just prison dudes, but that's just just terminology, but when shit hits the fan and dudes are walking around ganged up and they catch your ass, and then you try to explain to them, no, I'm actually a dude, they ain't gonna give a damn. They ain't gonna try to hear that. So once again, this is what happens when there's chaos. So let's go back, let's read a bit more. Um, it says here, members of the staff of the Dirty Monkey said they had been coordinating with local authorities and community members, organizing and trying to direct supply drops and shipments of essential medications such as insulin to families in need. And that's another thing. Things that you're so used to that you take for granted, you'll realize how important they are when they're not there, i.e. your medications. They cost a lot of money. You're always taking these meds. Guess what? When them hospitals get destroyed, there are people that are in hospitals, people that are in nursing homes and retirement homes that need others, staff who are getting paid to come there and take care of them. So when all hell's breaking loose, there's no concept somebody's going to pay you to go to your job, because to a lot of these people, it's just a job. A lot of nurses see their job as just a job. Not all, but some. Some people that take care of these folks, and whether it's your grandma in a retirement home or in a nursing home, it's a job. So when all hell is breaking loose, people are going to say, I need to be with my family and find my loved ones, rather than, you think the first thing that's going to come to their mind is, oh my gosh, Jimmy, my patient, let me run 10 miles to the hospital where I work and go make sure Jimmy's okay because the power's out. That's not happening. So the power goes out. Jimmy's looking around. He don't know what's going on. He's trying to reach his wheelchair, but he slips and falls. He hurts his tailbone and he's stuck on the floor. Who's coming to help Jimmy? Or maybe somebody that's hooked up to an IV, or they hooked up to what do they call them things? I forgot the machines that they put people on, ventilators, or I don't remember what the name was. But people that are hooked up to these medications that need it to either breathe for them or feeding tubes or whatever it is, who's going to be there to make sure that they're okay? So these are the things that people need to consider, man, because in an instant it all changes. Cami Irwin, a Maui resident helping to coordinate relief efforts at the Maui Brewing co-location in Kihei, told Insider that locals were working around the clock, forgoing sleep, and creating neighborhood patrols to help keep each other safe and find essentials such as clean drinking water and medications. Things that would in other times, it wouldn't be a problem. But now protection. Now you need protection. Now that's something you actually have to think about. People don't really think about protection nowadays. Okay, they go about. That's why people will be walking around at 3 a.m. in the morning with no business outside, dressed crazy, because they're not thinking about protection, because in their mind, what's going to happen to you? But now when shit hits the fan, you're hearing about people getting shot and raped and stabbed up. Now you're afraid to go outside. Now you need protection. Now that's what you're thinking about. And if you're a woman, you think you're trying to look for your girlfriends to round up and have the Wonder Woman gang. That's not what you're thinking of. So it says residents told Insider that they believed the mayor, who has offered limited public comments regarding the tragedy, has floundered in response to the emergency. Now let's go down. Let's read a bit more here. So these are a few questions. It says the following are 8 questions that we should all be asking about the fires in Hawaii right now. How did the fires start? Governor Green is convinced that they were caused by a confluence of factors. And I've linked this article in the description box, so you can get it. If I skip there's something you want to read, you can read it from there. How did the fires spread so rapidly? There's one that I really wanted to read. Let's see. Yeah, it says, why are emergency supplies not getting to the people that desperately need them? It is being reported that a telecommunications blackout has been one of the factors that has been hampering relief efforts. Yeah. So how easy it is when shit hits the fan. Oh, let me dial up such and such and see if they're okay. Wait, if the chaos took out the power lines and the radio towers and X, Y, and Z, you're not calling anybody. You're not finding out who or where or what. GPS is not working. Your phone service is not working. And if the lights go out, well, now you're not working. So now what? A lot of people, I'm sure, don't even know how to make it back home without GPS. And they're working there for 10 years. And they do not even know or remember or recognize the road that they take to work and back. Hmm. A lot of people are going to find out what they're truly made of in that day. So it says here, but in an enduring um, telecommunications blackout, hampered government and grassroots efforts to distribute those supplies in the worst affected neighborhoods, especially for an unknown number of survivors waiting out the aftermath in the few buildings still standing in the historic town of Lahaina and neighborhoods on the outskirts. With their vehicles burned to a crisp, some sheltering at home have no way to drive to distribution centers miles away, or their cars have run out of gas. Others simply don't know where to go for help. Toxic fumes and downed power lines with live wires make venturing outdoors dangerous. Starting to sound like reality, right? Because now oh shit, yo, this is crazy. Like this ain't just, you see, when shit goes down, it's not gonna be like, all right, it's time for me to go out there and show out. I've watched all the post-apocalyptic movies there is to watch, so I'm ready. I got my axe and my bug out bag. Because when you look outside and you see what it looks like, you gonna be shook. You're gonna realize that, man, it's gonna take more than just a couple of movies to get my ass out this house. But then again, you can't stay in there and starve. Then you see, that's when the rewiring of your mind starts to begin. That's when people start to forget about the other stuff. See, at that point, you worrying about whether you had the new iPhone 12 or whether this chick liked your picture back, or whether your coworker pissed you off because he was talking shit about you. Like those things go out the window and new things come into the window. Things like, how are we going to eat? Where are we going to get water? How are we going to protect each other? Where are we going to sleep? Where are we going to go? How do I connect and find my loved ones, my wife, my mom, my brother, my kids? These are the things that people are going to be thinking about. Because once again, like imagine you find yourself in one of these situations. You have to think hard. If your car is burnt up, you got to think, how are you going to get to your mind is probably get to the distribution center to get some supplies. Okay, who's going to go? Who's going to stay? Are we all going to go? How are we going to get there? We can't walk. What if you're walking and then the sun comes down? You know what happens when the sun down? The creeps come out. See, these are the things that people are going to have to think about. But you know what? It's called critical thinking. And a lot of people today don't have the ability to think critically. You know what they have the ability to do? They have the ability to bug out. And that's what they're going to do. And you know what getting bugged out is going to do to you? Is going to get you killed. And not being able to follow directions is going to get you killed. It says, why are people that have just had their homes burned down in the fires already being bombarded with calls with offers to purchase their properties? Why has the FBI moved a mobile refrigerated morgue to Lahaina? Why is Joe Biden lounging on the beach while all of this is happening? This is interesting right here. And then it says, when disaster strikes, we need a leader in the White House that knows how to act properly. Yeah, well, the disaster that's coming, it ain't gonna matter what leader you got. That ain't the only leader you need is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay, but this is what happens when there's chaos. So I'm gonna finish it off with this in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 25. See, it isn't until events like this happen that tend to highlight the scriptures. See, because now you can see what a real world example of what the scriptures are talking about looks like. Now you can, when you read, and the houses broken into, the wives ravaged, you're not thinking of some random thing you imagined, but you're starting to see, this is what it looks like in reality. This is why this prophet said this, or that prophet said this. This is why Ezra said, woe is me. Because now you're starting to see the scriptures don't sound so surreal anymore. Now they sound very real, because you can see 2nd Ezra 15 happening in front of you. Now you understand, that's why he said that they're not going to have pity upon their neighbors. damn, this guy just shot him in cold blood, bro. Yeah, these are the things that you're going to be seeing, and it's going to make it all reality in your mind. So this is Ezekiel 7:25. It says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Okay, there shall be none. So when that time comes, there ain't gonna be no relief people coming to bring nothing. No supply packages, ain't no none of that. There might be some in some areas, but then again, that might be another example of a man desiring to go into a city and not being able to. Right? We just read about how you have some people hauled up in their houses and they know, okay, I need to get to the distribution center. I heard that they're giving out supplies, but I can't get there. I don't have a car. My car's out of gas. It's dangerous to walk out. You don't have the ability to get there. See? So this is the reality of things and what's getting ready to take place, which a lot of people are not ready for. But hey, once again, this is what happens when there's chaos. So anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodesh. And until next time, Shalom.